back, baby, and I have something vaguely interesting to show you today. Well, most of the time I have to try to have something vaguely interesting to show you, but I assure you this will interest quite a few of you, and there's really not a whole lot more like it in the entire Nerf ecosystem today. But first I have to welcome you to Tag Back, the show where every week we take a look at another blaster from the past to see what it could offer us today in the present, and this time we're going to be taking a look at the long-forgotten Lanard Scatter Blast, or the Corpse Scatter Blast by Lanard. Pretty much the same thing. The Corpse being, if I remember correctly, some kind of knockoff G.I. Joe line that I have seen the figures of lots of times, but I've never seen the Scatter Blast itself. And the Scatter Blast being not entirely a football, although it's definitely meant to kind of be like that, but it is in fact a Nerf grenade. Pretty interesting thing we have here. Now, these are really ridiculous to try to come by. I've seen one previous to this one, and the only reason I have this one is special thanks to our internal Lord Chalo, who let me borrow it specifically for this review, and he had both, but I wasn't going to take both from him. I don't want to be responsible for both these things. But yeah, it's a grenade, and the weirdest thing is that I swear the first time I saw one of these and I played around with it, I could have swore that it was like you pull this back and it catches like a plunger tube and then you throw it and it releases the catch. That is not how it works, and maybe I got confused because that's how the Nerf nuke was supposed to work, but this is in fact an air-powered blaster. You pump it up, but it doesn't do anything because it has like a safety button on it. I mean, it's a grenade, so it makes sense. So you basically, to use this thing, you gotta push this little orange button in, and then you're going to pump it like 15 times, or until the overpressure release kicks in. Now it's armed, but of course we're going to need darts to put inside of it, so let's just take a couple of these here super darts from the Dart Zone stuff, which I have in spurts, because they give you a lot of them, and they seem rather durable. And this does not seem like they're going in all the way, but maybe they are. I'm not quite sure. Now, I don't know if you want to have that. I'm guessing you would want to have that kind of pulled out like that, but the trigger is on the front here. Now, the entire blaster body is actually a foam, except for the very top and the tail here, but this is all foam, including the head, and when I drop this thing at my foot, well, that didn't work exactly how I planned it, so we're probably going to have to do it one more time. But yeah, the thing is supposed to launch darts out, so man, I was really hoping I'd get that on camera, because that would have been really cool, but let's just grab some random darts here, start filling this thing up. These are really cool, and the distances and velocities and whatnot, while very hard to judge, and the entire use of this kind of thing is a little hard to judge because it's very situational, it is cool. So we'll just do it the easy way. Yeah, it's got really good distance for what this thing is supposed to be. That hit the ceiling of the garage and then some. So I'm guessing if you were to use this thing and you would actually throw this, you know, against a tree somebody was nearby, maybe you can just Peyton Manning them or something like that. Some people are just ridiculously good with the footballs. I mean American footballs. I am not. I just stood there and nobody bothered me when I played football. But it's a really cool little thing, and yeah, if you were decently good at throwing this thing, you could probably get one or maybe two people out with it. Is that likely to happen, though? Probably not. Now, it's not really a necessary thing about, oh, it's the velocity is too low, or it doesn't shoot enough darts, because it does have 6, which is a good amount. But it's just the fact of what it is. You have to throw it. It is weighted on the front, but you have to have it hit the front, and then all the darts are going to come up behind it. So, best case scenario, and you saw, like, I dropped it straight up on the floor in front of me. I was expecting darts to just fly up in front of my face. It was going to be a really cool part of the video. That didn't freaking happen. Little disappointing. So, you can see right there, it's not the most reliable system ever. I dropped it and all the darts shot backwards, like into my desk. That does not bode well for the actual usage of this thing, but we will try one more time. This is good because I spent all this time picking all the darts up off the floor, and now I'm going to have to spend more time picking all the darts back up off the floor, because now here's 18 more. 3 times 6. For those of you keeping score. press in the safety, pump this thing up, and we'll throw it at this wall. It didn't even fire. You see the problem with the scatter blast yet? It's a really cool concept, and the one time it works, you'll probably feel amazing. But it has to actually work that one time. Shot darts clear over to the other side of the garage. Again, a really respectable distance, but you will notice that none of those darts flew up in front of the camera. No, they flew all over in that direction. You see what I mean by this thing being a really cool idea, but in practice is just not useful. Now, this kind, this blue kind, I'm guessing these are the original kind, do not have the little lanyard thing on it that, lets you clip it to your belt, so you would have to stash this somewhere in your gear. But the green kind do have, in fact, the lanyard hole. So, I mean, you could definitely carry one on you. You could throw it into a horde of zombies. If you hit somebody with it, it probably wouldn't feel all that good. But you'd probably at least get them out. I mean, I don't know who wouldn't call that a hit. And if you happen to hit, like, in the middle of a crowd, you'd hit them and all the darts would fly everywhere. Nobody would probably know they were tagged out, but that's always an option as well. It's a cool thing. It's really cool, but there's a reason why you don't really see too many Nerf grenades. And it's kind of a bummer. It's a cool thing. It's probably better off being used as some sort of trap in some other way, like how Chehalis has, like, his remote control stuff, and that would probably work way better if we can get like a Nerf Claymore with a tripwire. That would be insanely cool. And while this is also insanely cool, it's just not very practical. I know a lot of you have been looking for something like this. I've seen it in comments. One of the most popular videos that Derek's Mod Shop or whatever has ever put out was a homemade Nerf grenade, which is awesome and a little bit better than this thing, but it still brings in question the whole practicality of the Nerf grenade. Let me know what you think about the Lanard Scatter Blast, or the Corpse Scatter Blast, the Corpse. I believe it's called the Core. It just always is a weird word, so it's one of those things. Like I used to say herb instead of herb. I'm sure somebody will bitch about it in the comments. They always do. Let me know what you think about this thing down in the comment boxes below. Do you want one? Do you hate it? Is there some underlying use for it I just haven't thought of, except for shooting it out of some kind of cannon? Let me know what you think down in the comment boxes below. And of course, if you like this kind of thing, hit the like button. If you dislike it, the dislike button is there because I called it the Corpse or the Core. I don't want to refilm this entire video because I think this one's gone off pretty good. But, of course, there's those things there for you as well. I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video. And, of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one.